Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're doing well and ready to spend a few minutes talking racing. Right away, the biggest theme running through this update is stability. A lot of small but annoying crashes and freezes that players were running into have been addressed. These weren't always easy to reproduce issues either, which usually makes them harder to fix. But the developers clearly went through logs and community reports to track down those random moments where the game would just give up on you mid-session. The result is a build that feels noticeably more solid, especially during longer race weekends, endurance events, and when switching between menus and sessions. It's the kind of improvement you don't always notice immediately. But after a few hours, you realize you haven't had that one crash that used to show up at the worst possible time. Performance is another area where this update really earns its keep. On PC especially, there are optimizations aimed at smoothing out frame pacing rather than just pushing higher numbers. That means fewer micro stutters when cars are bunched together, more consistent performance when weather changes kick in, and less of that jitter you might have felt when the camera sort of switches or a replay loads. Console players also get some love here, with tweaks that help maintain steadier performance in heavy traffic or on tracks that were known to dip during night races. It's not a miracle patch that suddenly doubles your FPS, but it does make the game feel more predictable and easier to drive at the limit. AI behavior has also been quietly adjusted, and this is one of those changes that might divide opinions depending on how you race. The AI is now better at judging space in side-by-side situations, which reduces some of the clumsy door banging that could happen in slower corners. They're also a bit more consistent under braking, so you're less likely to see weird checkups or sudden dives that didn't make sense. At the same time, they're still aggressive enough to race you properly, which is important, because nobody wants a field of rolling roadblocks. Over longer races, the AI's pace and decision-making feels more even, which helps immersion and makes championships flow more naturally. The penalty and collision system has received some behind-the-scenes cleanup as well. This doesn't completely reinvent how penalties work, but it does improve how the game decides who's at fault in common racing incidents. Light taps that used to trigger penalties too easily are now handled more forgivingly, while repeated contact and obvious punts are more reliably flagged. It's still not perfect, but it's moving in the right direction, especially for online racing, where consistency is everything. Controller and input fixes are another welcome part of this update. One particularly frustrating issue where certain bindings like the pit limiter could reset or fail to register properly has been fixed. There's also better consistency across different controller types, which helps players who switch between wheels, pads, or custom setups. Inputs feel more dependable now, and that directly affects confidence when you're braking late or managing traction on corner exit. Audio hasn't been forgotten either. Some cars had minor sound glitches, volume inconsistencies, or looping issues that broke immersion, and those have been cleaned up. Trackside audio is a bit more stable too, so you're less likely to hear odd pops or missing sounds during replays or camera changes. It's subtle, but sound plays a huge role in how believable a racing game feels, and these refinements definitely help. There are also a collection of track-specific fixes ruled into this update. Things like incorrect surface grip in certain corners, visual flickering, lighting inconsistencies, and minor collision issues have been addressed. These are the kind of problems that might only affect one corner on one track, but if that's your favorite circuit, you definitely noticed them before.